You thought this crystal attracts energy. But what if it's been absorbing the very wealth you've been trying to call in? It looks clear, but the flow around you feels heavier, stuck, unclear. Because this isn't just a stone, it's a mirror. And if you're not careful, it reflects your blocks back to you. You carry it every day. A clear quartz charm hanging quietly next to your keys. Some days, you hold it longer hoping it brings you luck. Other days, it just clinks around, forgotten. They say quartz attracts energy. They say it amplifies abundance. But lately, you've been working harder, manifesting more, and still, the flow feels blocked. The opportunities keep missing you by just a little. The money you thought was coming in keeps slipping out again. So what if it's not your effort that's off? What if it's this crystal? Not because it's bad, but because it's unguarded, unset, absorbing anything and everything around it. And instead of helping, it's holding on to what should have passed through. In this video, we'll reveal 5 silent Feng Shui mistakes you might be making with your crystal keychain, and how to reset it to finally move money energy, not just store it. Let's start with the first one. It's the most common mistake, and the most invisible. Before we begin, if any part of this resonates with you, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Every ritual we share on this channel comes from the energy of intention, protection, and abundance. So if you'd like to walk this journey with us, don't forget to subscribe. This video is part of a series on protective keychains and Feng Shui rituals for money flow. You can explore the full playlist below. And stay with me until the end, because the final shift is the one most people miss, but it changes everything. You thought keeping the crystal near your wallet would attract wealth faster, but what if it's absorbing more chaos than chi? Most people don't even think twice. You get a clear quartz charm, and naturally, you attach it right next to your keys or slide it into your wallet. Because that's where your money is, right? That's where the abundance should be amplified. But here's the quiet truth no one tells you. Clear quartz doesn't attract only wealth energy. It attracts everything, including the tension in your hands when you rush out the door, the leftover energy of arguments, stress, or even fatigue, from touching your keys after a long, draining day. And think about it. Your wallet isn't just a symbol of money. It's also a container of financial worry. Credit cards, receipts, forgotten gift cards. It's not just holding cash. It's holding your history with money. And when your crystal sits there absorbing all of it, what do you think it's actually amplifying? Clarity? Or chaos? We tend to think more is better. Keep it close to your cash. But in Feng Shui, energy isn't just about location. It's about alignment. And placing a clear quartz crystal into a space of financial clutter is like asking a sponge to clean while it's soaking in dirty water. What happens next is subtle. Instead of amplifying clarity, your crystal starts storing stress. The noise of daily life deadlines, frustration, worry gets embedded in the crystal. And over time, your money energy feels scrambled, like it's trying to come through fog. You manifest, but it doesn't land. You save, but the money disappears, and you can't explain why. So what can you do? When your crystal's been soaking in everything but clarity, you don't need to throw it away. You just need to move it. Take it out of the noise. Out of the tangled energy of keys, wallets, and daily stress, give it space to breathe by placing it near a window that catches morning sunlight. Not direct heat, just enough light to bathe it in softness. Why sunlight? Because in both Feng Shui and energy science, light is a cleanser. It realigns vibration. It's not about charging the crystal with power. It's about releasing what doesn't belong. Light doesn't fill. It clears. And even if your home isn't full of windows, you can set the crystal in a quiet spot, like a shelf that faces east, where the energy of the rising sun still reaches. Even 10 minutes each morning can begin to reset its field. This is not just placement. It's a gesture. You're saying, this is sacred. This doesn't belong in the noise. Because when you treat your tools with intention, they start reflecting it back to you. A few months ago, a woman messaged me from Portland. She'd been carrying a small, clear quartz charm in her wallet for almost 2 years. Said it was for clarity and cash flow. But the more she focused on money, the more anxious she felt. Until one morning, she moved the crystal. Just placed it by her kitchen window where the sun gently hits around 7 a.m. And she told me something shifted. Not dramatically, not overnight, but a kind of mental fog started to lift. She said her weekly grocery bill felt less stressful. A small freelance job finally came through after weeks of silence. And most of all, she felt less tangled. Not because the crystal was suddenly working, but because she stopped asking it to fix chaos, while keeping it in the middle of chaos. Once separated from the chaotic pocket of your daily tools, you might feel something shift, not dramatically, but gently. A sense of openness, lightness, as if the wealth energy around you has more room to breathe, to flow in, not just bounce off. Crystals don't sort, they absorb. So choose what they absorb intentionally. But here's the problem. Even if you place it in the right spot, what if it's already full of old, stuck energy? That's where most people go wrong next. You wouldn't wear the same shirt for months without washing it. But your crystal? It's been absorbing for weeks, maybe years, without a single reset. You got the crystal. Maybe from a shop. Maybe it was a gift. It looked pure, felt light, so you trusted it. And, like most people, you thought that was enough. You carry it with good intention. You whisper affirmations to it. You even call it your energy magnet. But you never once cleansed it. See, in the spiritual world, intention is powerful. But maintenance is what keeps that power flowing. Clear quartz doesn't filter. It doesn't say, this is a good vibe, I'll keep it. This is stress, I'll let it pass. Number. It just absorbs. All of it. And if you never release what it's holding, you're carrying old energy disguised as clarity. Imagine it like this. You light incense in a closed room every night, but never open a window. After a while, it's not sacred anymore. It's just stale. That's what happens when you keep using a crystal, without ever resetting its field. The sparkle fades. The flow stops feeling fresh. And even though you're still manifesting, it's like the signal isn't reaching anywhere. Because underneath your new affirmations, the stone is still echoing your old ones. This is where energetic deja vu kicks in. You set new goals, but the same old blocks show up. You raise your prices, then feel guilt. You get a raise, then overspend. Patterns repeat, not because you're sabotaging yourself, but because the tool holding your intentions hasn't been cleared. In Feng Shui, stagnant energy is like still water, pretty at first glance, but murky beneath. And that's what your crystal becomes if you never cleanse it. So how do you clean something that doesn't look dirty, but feels heavy? Crystals don't need soap. They don't need scrubbing. They need silence. They need release. One of the simplest ways is to bury your crystal in a bowl of dry sea salt overnight. Not the kind from the table, but the kind that remembers the ocean, because salt holds the memory of cleansing. It draws out residue without force. It whispers to the stone, "Let go, let go, let go." Another way, place the crystal on a windowsill during the new moon. That's when energy is quietest, when the sky is blank. The absence of light gives space for release. No drama, no charge, just stillness. Let the stone rest in that stillness. Or, if you live near nature, rinse it in cool, running water, a stream, a faucet, even rain. As you do, whisper softly, "Release what's not mine." That one line spoken slowly can become a ritual all its own. Because cleansing isn't just about the crystal. It's about you saying, "I'm ready to stop carrying what doesn't belong." Do this once a month. Not because the crystal demands it, but because your energy deserves it. There's a man I once spoke to, a retired carpenter from New Mexico. He'd worn a clear quartz crystal in his front pocket every day for 5 years. Said it was a gift from his daughter. He believed in it, trusted it, but he never once cleansed it. One evening, during a new moon, he followed a small ritual he saw online. Set the crystal on his windowsill with a pinch of salt beneath it. That was it. No chanting, no crystals in grids, just silence and moonlight. A week later, he emailed me. Said something strange happened. He didn't win the lottery, but he felt lighter, less haunted by that old fear that his money would never last. He told me, "It was like the crystal let go of something I didn't know I gave it. Once cleared, you'll notice it. Not like a thunderbolt, but a gentle hum. Your thoughts feel more direct. Your affirmations feel less forced. Money talks begin to feel neutral, not tense. The crystal won't change your life, but it will stop repeating the old one. Clear quartz is clear until it isn't. Clean the mirror, and the light finds its way back. But what if the real issue isn't just build-up, but misalignment from the very start? Because choosing the wrong stone for your energy might be blocking abundance before it even begins. It looks stunning in sunlight, but have you ever wondered why it doesn't seem to do anything for you? It's easy to fall for beauty. You walk into a crystal shop, and there it is. Clear, shining, elegant. Everyone says clear quartz is the master crystal, the one that fits all. So, you trust it. You buy it. And maybe you even put it on your keychain thinking, "This will boost my energy, help me manifest money." But weeks pass, and nothing flows. Not because the crystal is wrong, but because it's not right for you. In Feng Shui and energy work, everything has an element, including you. You might carry more fire, more earth, or more water. And when a crystal doesn't match your core element, it doesn't amplify your energy. It scatters it, like tuning your radio between two stations. All you hear is fuzz. That fuzz is what's happening inside your energy field. Clear quartz doesn't care if you're fire or metal. It simply amplifies whatever's there. And if your internal frequency doesn't harmonize with it, It's like plugging a light bulb into the wrong voltage. The light flickers, or burns out, or doesn't turn on at all. So what's the real mistake? Believing that one crystal works for everyone, just because it's beautiful, or popular, or trending on Instagram. Qi doesn't care about trends. It cares about resonance. Here's what that mismatch can feel like. You keep visualizing abundance, but something in your gut feels disconnected. Or you journal your goals, but they just feel flat. It's not because you're doing it wrong. It's because the crystal isn't amplifying your qi. It's simply not resonating with it. In elemental Feng Shui, someone with strong fire energy might feel overstimulated by quartz. Someone with an earth-heavy chart might feel no lift from it at all. Instead of clarity, they feel static. Instead of flow, they feel numb. So, what do you do when the crystal isn't wrong? It's just not you. You don't need to throw it away. You just need to realign. In Feng Shui, the key is not about choosing what looks good, but what feels true to your element. If your energy leans toward fire, you might feel overstimulated by clear quartz. Try amethyst instead. It cools the flame while deepening inner vision. It helps fire focus instead of flare. If your chart is earth-heavy, clear quartz can feel too fast. Try smoky quartz. It anchors and filters, helping you feel steady while inviting abundance in steps. If you're more aligned with water or metal, clear quartz can work, but only when it's regularly cleansed and clearly programmed. These elements absorb faster, so structure and intention are crucial. Think of it like choosing the right partner for a dance. One leads, one follows. And if the rhythm doesn't match, the movement turns to tension. Once you choose a stone that resonates with your elemental nature, your energy no longer has to fight to be heard. The crystal becomes an amplifier, not of noise, but of alignment. This isn't about spiritual labels. It's about energetic fit. And when you find that fit, everything softens. The effort feels less. The intention flows farther. Years ago, I asked a teacher, someone who'd studied elemental qi for decades, why my clear quartz never seemed to work. I told him I wore it daily, meditated with it, spoke intentions into it, and he just smiled and said, "That crystal isn't listening because it's not yours." I didn't understand. He held my hand for a second, felt the pulse, then whispered, "You carry earth. Too much fire or air will shake your roots. You don't need more spark. You need grounding." He gave me a smoky quartz that day, said nothing else. Weeks later, I realized my thoughts felt calmer. Money decisions didn't spin me out. I wasn't chasing. I was choosing. And I've carried that stone ever since. So if you're holding on to a crystal, and it just feels off, maybe it's not you. Maybe it's just not your match. If you're not sure what your element is, leave me a comment below. I'd love to help you find the right qi you were meant to work with. Once you switch to a crystal that harmonizes with your field, you'll feel the difference. Not just in results, but in ease. You'll stop second-guessing your efforts. Money won't feel like a chase. You'll notice alignment in unexpected places, like smoother conversations, or decisions that used to feel cloudy suddenly become clear. Because the qi is no longer trying to fight through a filter. It's finally in tune. Beauty is surface. Qi moves deeper. But even if you choose the right crystal, there's one more silent trap. It's not about what the stone is, but what it's surrounded by. And that brings us to next part. You placed your crystal on your keychain for convenience. But did you ever ask what energy it's rubbing against every single day? You clip your crystal onto your keychain because it's convenient. You want to carry it with you. Keep it close. But think about what else is on that ring. House keys, car keys, garage remotes, gate fobs, mailbox openers, and sometimes a mini flashlight or even a bottle opener. Every single object has been touched, dropped, banged, rushed. They've been through traffic stress, late-night runs, gas stations, crowded parking lots. And your crystal, meant to hold peace, clarity, and abundance, is hanging right there in the middle of all that chaos. We forget that objects carry energetic residue. Your car key remembers the tension of being late. Your office key? It's been in meetings filled with pressure. And that restroom key you keep for emergencies? It's been places that literally hold stagnant toxic chi. Crystals are sensitive. They don't filter. They absorb. And when they're surrounded by top he, things that constantly clash, clang, and carry residue, the crystal starts soaking it in. The more contact it has with noise, the less it can hear you. This is one of the most overlooked mistakes because it looks harmless. It's just a keychain, but in the energy world, proximity is power. And when the sacred sits too long beside the scattered, the sacred dims. What happens next isn't obvious, but it's real. You begin to feel scattered, distracted. Your rituals feel like they're working less and less. Money slips, focus wavers. Opportunities come, but slide past. It's not your mindset. It's your field, and it's being pulled in 100 directions at once. Feng Shui teaches us, where energy gathers, it multiplies. But if it gathers in noise, what do you think it's multiplying? So, how do you protect something sacred? In a world full of static? You don't need to wrap your crystal in silk or chant every morning. You just need to give it space. Space to be itself. Space to not be tangled in noise. First, unclasp it from the key ring. Just holding that moment in your hand is already a shift. Next, find a small fabric pouch. Natural fibers, soft to the touch. It doesn't need to be fancy. Just clean, quiet, intentional. That's your crystal's room. A space where no car key, no remote, no restroom tag can interrupt the signal. If you still want to carry it with you, place it in a side pocket of your bag. Somewhere it won't clang with metal. Somewhere it can just exist. At home, give it a landing place. A wooden bowl, a shelf, even a folded cloth in the corner of your desk. A place it can return to and reset. And once a week specially, on quiet mornings, place it near sunlight or beside a living plant. Not for power, but for balance. Crystals love stillness. They absorb, yes, but they also listen. And they reflect what you give them. When you stop letting your crystal swim in static, you start hearing your own energy more clearly too. Because wealth, like clarity, doesn't grow in noise. It grows in space. A woman from Chicago once wrote to me. She'd been carrying a clear quartz crystal on her keychain, clipped right between her car keys and her work pass. At first, she thought it was helping her stay focused, but over time, she started feeling heavy. Like every time she touched her keys, her body sighed. She told me, "I kept getting these weird headaches after driving, and I felt this pressure in my chest before big meetings. even when I wasn't nervous. I asked her one question. Where does your crystal rest when you're not touching it? She paused, then realized, on my desk, still attached to my keys, which are next to my phone, and my charger, and the coffee cup I forgot to wash. That night, she unclipped the crystal, put it in a small cotton pouch, set it beside a plant near her window. 2 weeks later, she messaged again. No more headaches. No more tension in the chest. Just a weird, calm, every time she walked out the door. She said, I think I was making it carry too much, and when I gave it space, it gave it back to me. Once separated from the static, things shift quietly. You might find yourself thinking clearer, noticing the little signs, seeing money, energy move, not in big bursts, but in aligned openings. You'll stop feeling pulled and start feeling tuned in. Wealth doesn't settle where noise lives. But there's one final mistake. And it's not about where your crystal is, or what's around it. It's about what you never told it to do. Because if your crystal doesn't know its purpose, it can't help you hold what matters. You wear it, you touch it, you trust it. But have you ever told your crystal what you want it to do? You might carry your crystal everywhere. You cleanse it. You protect it. You even feel comforted when it's near. But ask yourself, have you ever told it why you're carrying it? Most people don't. Not because they don't believe, but because they don't realize. Crystals respond to clarity. Clear quartz, especially, is a natural amplifier. It doesn't choose what to magnify. It just reflects what's present. And if what's present is confusion, scattered thought, financial anxiety, or half-finished intentions, then that's what it echoes back to you. It's like holding a mirror up to your mind every morning, but never wiping it clean, never pointing it in a direction, and expecting it to show you clarity. You wouldn't give someone a powerful tool and then not tell them what to build. But that's exactly what we do when we wear or carry a crystal and never assign it a purpose. The result? Your energy moves, yes, but it moves without anchor, without a home frequency. And just like a river without banks, it spills. We think the crystal isn't working, but really, it's just waiting for instructions. The result? Your chi doesn't anchor. Your intentions keep floating. You may feel like you're working hard, but everything stays in motion without landing. It's like speaking affirmations into water, then spilling the bowl before it settles. The crystal isn't broken. It's just waiting for clarity from you. So how do you give a crystal its direction? You speak to it, not with drama, not with elaborate chants, just one line, spoken with clarity, spoken with stillness. Each morning, take a quiet moment. Hold your crystal in your hand gently, like you're holding breath. Close your eyes, and whisper one sentence that defines what you want it to hold. Something like, you hold calm for my decisions today. You guide my energy toward flow, not fear. You reflect abundance and protect my income. Keep it simple. One intention. One job. Because when a crystal is given a purpose, it becomes a container for that purpose. It no longer reflects everything around it. It reflects what you've assigned to it. This isn't superstition. This is energetic delegation. Just like you wouldn't start your day without checking your calendar, I don't start it without giving your crystal a clear role. And once you've done that, carry it like a quiet ally, not expecting it to fix everything, but trusting that it's holding the frequency you can return to when the day gets noisy. That's what Qi really needs. A place to settle. And sometimes, a single line is all it takes to create that place. I'll tell you something I've never shared. I wore a clear quartz on my keychain for almost a year. I cleansed it, protected it. I carried it like it meant something. But truthfully, I never told it what I wanted. Never whispered a single intention into it. Until one quiet morning. I don't know why. I held it in my palm and said, "You hold clarity for my income today." That was it. One sentence. No candles. No moonlight. Just me, that crystal, and a kind of stillness I hadn't felt in a while. And I don't know what shifted, but that day, I didn't second guess my prices. I didn't flinch when I checked my balance. Something stopped floating. Something settled. I've done it every morning since. Different words. Same stillness. If you've never spoken to your crystal, just try it once. One clear sentence. Say it like you mean it. Then watch what settles. After a few days, you might feel it. A small steadiness. Thoughts feel calmer. Actions feel clearer. Decisions flow with less internal tug-of-war. It's not magic. It's direction. Your Qi with a home to return to. Crystals amplify, but you must aim. So if you've been carrying a crystal, without cleaning it, mismatched with your element, buried in noise, or left without a mission, now you know why the flow felt off. But the good news is, you can reset it. All of it. If you've been carrying a clear quartz crystal on your keychain and wondering why the energy hasn't shifted, maybe now you know why. It's not that the crystal isn't powerful. It's that it's been absorbing everything without direction, without cleansing, without resonance, and without space to breathe. But you can reset it. You can reset everything. 1. Unclip the noise. Take your crystal off your keychain. Remove it from the clutter of metal, plastic, and chaotic touch. Don't let it swim in the energy of traffic, toilets, or stress-filled commutes. Give it its own space. A soft pouch, a small wooden tray, a corner of calm. Because energy, like you, needs boundaries. 2. Cleanse what it's been holding. You don't need fancy rituals, just presence. Place it in a bowl of sea salt overnight. Let it rest in soft morning light. Or rinse it under running water and whisper, "Release what's not mine." Crystals are not tools for collecting. They're vessels for resetting, and they work best when cleared gently. 3. Assign one purpose. Daily. Each morning, take a breath. Hold the crystal in your palm and speak one line. Just one. You hold clarity for my income today. You protect my energy from money fear. You reflect only what I choose to grow. You're not asking it to do everything. You're asking it to hold steady. So your intention doesn't float, fade, or scatter. That's how we begin to reset the flow. Not by chasing more, but by calming the tools we already hold. Not by forcing wealth to come faster, but by clearing the noise so it can finally find its way to you. You've carried this crystal with you, not knowing it was carrying so much of you, too. But now, you've unclipped the noise, cleansed the weight, given it space, and spoken its purpose. That's not just a reset for the crystal. That's a reset for you. If any part of this shifted something in you, let me know in the comments. What crystal do you carry? And what will you ask it to hold starting tomorrow? And if this whisper felt like it reached you, I'd love to walk further with you. Subscribe and stay close. This space is just beginning to open. Because next, we're not talking about what you wear. We're talking about what you carry every day without thinking. Your wallet, what it holds, what it hides, and how it might be bending your money flow without you realizing it. I'll see you there. Until then, whisper back when you're ready.